Kelli's Acoustic Crossroads is brought to you by the Team One Automotive Group, Riverview Regional Medical Center, and Family Savings Credit Union. Now, here's Kelli Johnson.
Welcome to Kelli's Acoustic Crossroads. I'm your host, Kelli Johnson. We've got some awesome bluegrass music lined up for you today with Mr. Glen Williams and the Foggy Hollow Bluegrass Band. We're going to be featuring some of their performances that were taped at the beautiful Courtyard Cafe in Gadsden on Broad Street. I'm going to start us off with a bluegrass song that I wrote. It's called Grandpa's Rocking Chair. I'd go and stay with Grandpa when I was just a kid. I'd climb up on his lap and put his old cap on my head. He told me dreams can take me anywhere I want to go, and I knew that it was true because my grandpa told me so. He'd work all day and come home with grease all on his hands. I beg him for a story and he'd always give in. I'd tag along behind him, oh, we made quite a pair. And when work was done, we'd sit down in his old rocking chair. Work boots and overalls were all he ever wore. His hands were always dirty, but his heart was always pure. He'd talk and I would listen and imagine I was there. I could go any place in Grandpa's rocking chair. Well, I turned 10 years old the day my grandpa died. I remember it's the first time I saw my daddy cry. But deep down I knew God needed Grandpa there so he could rock the angels in a golden rocking chair. Work boots and overalls were all he ever wore. His hands were always dirty, but his heart was always pure. He'd talk and I would listen and imagine I was there. I could go any place in Grandpa's rocking chair. Now I'm grown and trying to raise 3 children of my own. Sometimes it's hard to do when you do it all alone. But when I get to thinking it's more than I can bear, well, I just sit and rock my babies in Grandpa's rocking chair. Work boots and overalls were all he ever wore. His hands were always dirty, but his heart was always pure. Now I talk and know he listens and imagine I'm there. I can still go any place in Grandpa's rocking chair. Well, I'd go and stay with Grandpa when I was just a kid. Y'all stay tuned for some great bluegrass music with Glen Williams and Foggy Hollow Band. Welcome back to Kelli's Acoustic Crossroads. My guests today are the Foggy Hollow Bluegrass Band. And they weren't able to be in studio with us today, but we do have a performance of them from the Courtyard Cafe here in Gadsden that we're going to show you soon. I'd like to remind you, take a minute to visit our website, kacrossroads.com. There you can catch up on all the guest segments that we've had in the past, and you can contact us there, and you can also send us your homegrown videos to that link. It's kacrossroads.com. Right now, here's Foggy Hollow Band with Fox on the Run.
She fall. Woman tempted man down at Paradise's hall. Yeah, a woman tempted me. She took me for a ride. Now, like the lonely fox, I need a place to hide. She walks through the corn leading down to the river. Her hair shone like gold in the hot morning sun. She took all the love that a poor boy could give her and left me to die like a fox on the run. Like a fox, like a fox, like a fox on the run. Pour another glass of wine, fortify your soul. Talk about our friends and the things we used to know. Well, I see a strange girl, she's got me on the floor. Race is almost over and the hounds are at my door. She walks through the corn leading down to the river. Her hair shone like gold in the hot morning sun. She took all the love that a poor boy could give her and left me to die like a fox on the run. Like a fox, 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 on the run.
That's Mr. Rick Goodwin right there on the guitar. Doing a great job.
That was David Ashley on upright bass, Rick Goodwin on guitar and vocals, David Wright on banjo, and a man that needs no introduction, Mr. Glen Williams on mandolin. We just so happen to have Mr. Glen Williams with us here today. How you doing, Glen?
I'm doing great. I'm the only one that can skip work, I guess.
I guess, yeah. Or not at the beach, you know.
Yeah,
some people have to work for a living.
That's right, that's right.
Well, as I said, you don't need an introduction. Everybody knows who you are, and you are, you know, famous through the Foggy Hollow Bluegrass Gathering. Tell us a little bit about what got you interested in bluegrass music.
Well, when I was growing up, my grandfather was a fiddle player, and I had, believe it or not, real long hair, and was in a rock and roll band, and he would always say, you need to learn some Bill Monroe. You need to learn some Bill Monroe. And I'd say, no, I'm not wasting my time. Ironically, when I was about 19 years old, back in the early 70s, our good buddy Jerry Ryan and Warren Musgrove decided to start a folk festival at Horseman's 40. And it had a lot of bluegrass involved in it. One Sunday afternoon, I drove up there to see what was going on, and I sat down on the rocks and listened to about 4 hours of music. I came home, I sold all my electrical equipment, bought an acoustic guitar, and started going to festivals. Yeah. It was awesome. So,
it does have this pull on you. I hear so many musicians that have done rock, and me myself, I grew up listening to all different kinds, but once I found bluegrass kind of, and I grew up with gospel that was really played with bluegrass instruments, you know, and just didn't realize that was bluegrass, but after my first bluegrass festival, I was hooked as well. So.
Well, I think one thing that kind of trained me too, you know, we travel a lot. Whether we get paid or not. We travel a lot. We go all over the place to pay, and we go all over the place to hear people. When I was a little child, my mother and daddy followed gospel music, and we drove all over Alabama and all over Tennessee and all over Georgia. They were good friends with a group called the Keymasters, and we went everywhere to hear gospel music. Well, I think that kind of got inbred in me, and so I still travel today. We go all over the place to see music.
Yeah, and it's such a family thing. Even, you know, I love bluegrass because it's one of the places I can bring my kids
That's
to.
Right.
And, you know, you don't have to worry about what they might hear, you know, or, and like you said earlier, bluegrass is something you don't have to have power. So if the lights go out, you know, you can still keep going.
I love it. No electricity required.
Exactly.
And you know, that's something, and you know, a lot of folks know that we, for 20 years, have done the Foggy Hollow Bluegrass Gathering. We literally had probably 25% of our crowd that came to jam. They never came to the stage. They could care less who was performing on the stage. And they would say, you don't need all them high-priced bands. But there were 75% of the people down there to hear the bands.
Right.
And so, you know, you and I have been there at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, still going. There's something about it. Speaking of that instant energy.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, music will keep you going too. We were talking about getting sleepy driving home, but as long as you're playing, you don't seem to be tired.
It's amazing,
you know,
isn't it?
It is amazing.
Just don't ever sit down.
Yeah, once you sit down and start driving, it's all over with. But You've had big acts out there. You've had Allison Krauss and, you know, Third Time Out's a regular out there, and you do have the big bands, and as well as you give the local bands a place to kind of introduce themselves and play too.
And that was a goal of ours. When we started the festival, David Bowley and I had this dream, and of course we drug Felicia into it immediately. That was the year we met. We didn't give her a choice. But our goal was, if we were going to do it, we were going to do it right, and I think we did. And you know, it's ironic because we started the festival to see the people we wanted to see, because we weren't getting to go see them enough, so we started it. And Tony Rice put us on the map. Allison Krauss helped put us on the map, Third Time Out. Those you know, some of the Bluegrass Cardinals, Doyle Lawson, gosh, when I think back, we've just been so blessed out there. Yeah. But you're right, we always featured mostly Alabama bands and regional bands on Friday night and opening the show on Saturday. And we have just met way too many folks. I mean, we've made so many friends in that 20 years.
Yeah, and well, it's famous, and I know a lot of people enjoy it. And we'll talk more about the Foggy Hollow Bluegrass Festival here in just a little bit, and we'll hear more from our guest, Glen Williams, coming right back after this break. Welcome back to Kelli's Acoustic Crossroads. I'm here with my guest, Glen Williams, who is famous for the Foggy Hollow Bluegrass Festival and now the Foggy Hollow Bluegrass Band. So.
Yeah, and you know, I guess we're probably in about our 4th generation, maybe 5th generation of the band, Kelli. I've made so many wonderful friends over the years. We've had people from all over the country, seems like, in the band, and it's been just awesome for me. I love it. I love it. You know, sometimes I'm thinking like, God, I booked another job. But then when you get there, it's okay.
You do.
This band has been together for about, well, 2 of the members have been with me for 5 years, and Rick, your buddy, Rick Goodwin, and who has played with you and the Cousins over the years. He played with every band there is that does every kind of music.
Excellent guitar player.
Outstanding, dynamite sound man. Yeah. He has been with the band about 3 years now. So this band's gelled very well, and I would say I probably have the best group of musicians I've ever had surrounding me, which helps me to look better.
As always. And I love that about bluegrass music. You said it is family oriented. You can, you know, if somebody can't play, you can, most of the time you can count on somebody in the immediate area to come fill in. And, you know, did the band kind of come about from the Bluegrass Festival?
What happened in the very beginning, 20 years ago, what we would do is we would draw 3 or 4 or 5 guys together, and we called it the Foggy Hollow All-Stars. And we would open the show because I was bound and determined to get to play. That was when I was playing, at first I was playing guitar because I didn't play mandolin. And then later on, in the famous words of Jim Marsh, I got that K mandolin with that plastic inlay on it. And so I played it for a year or 2. It was horrible, and I wasn't worth a flip. But you know, something that helped me was all these mandolin players that came would help me learn things.
Yeah, exactly.
And I literally learned backstage on Friday and Saturday nights. Yeah. But yes, we would form a group of all-stars, and every show it was different. And then one day, just all of a sudden, we were jamming backstage, and Dan Nelson from Michigan, from Buchanan, Michigan, he came up and picked with us for 3 hours, and that night the first Foggy Hollow Band was literally formed.
That's so awesome. And the festival has been a staple around here. I know I met my husband there. There's people that have brought their kids and then brought their grandkids back. It's just such a, it is a staple. It's a family event, and we look forward to it every year. And tell us a little bit about what's happening at Foggy Hollow Farm right now.
I will, but let me tell this story first. I remember one June, Kelli played with the guitar up here because she was so pregnant. And in September, I guess the baby was 3 weeks old. 2 weeks old. Yeah. She came back again. My wife held the baby on the end of the stage while she went out and did that show.
Felicia
3 months
was
later.
A lifesaver.
Oh yeah, she's a baby girl.
She didn't seem to mind cuddling.
Not at all. She'd take anybody's baby in a heartbeat. What's happening with Foggy Hollow is after 20 years, you know, the last few years have been a little bit lean on the financial side. And when it rains, we just end up in the bucket. So we've lived our dream. It's gotten to be a lot of work. A lot of things have changed. We're going to retire from the 2-day Bluegrass Festival. for a while, maybe. If I ever get to retire, we may start the thing back. And you know, that's kind of where we leave it. And we are going to try to have some one-night concerts, and we'll have some of those coming up this summer.
Yeah, awesome. We've got one with Drake White coming up.
Yeah, and that's going to be a benefit concert that could become an annual event to raise money for different charities. I like that idea a lot.
I do too. And you can hear about that on foggyhollow.com. You have the website.
Yeah, we're updating the website now, so give us about a week and we should have that done.
That sounds good. And you mentioned your lovely wife. At the next video that we have playing, I believe she gets up and sings with you, Felicia.
She does. She joins the band every now and then. If I could get her to practice, she could join more. She just won't come to practice. But she does an excellent job. She sings with us on the praise team at church. She's got a beautiful voice.
She does, and she's a beautiful person. And y'all got to perform this at the Courtyard series.
Yeah.
And they have music there every Friday, Saturday night?
Yeah, every Friday and Saturday night, weather permitting or no private parties, there's music. And I'm telling you, it's an awesome setting. You know, I love the place. It's old, it's historic, and we just love going there. It
is wonderful. And right now we're going to show some of the video from the Courtyard Cafe in Gadsden. This is Foggy Hollow Band performing Steel Rails with special guest Felicia Williams.
That's right.
Come up and join. This is my wife Felicia, commonly known as Baby. We're going to do a Alison Krauss tune written by Miss Louisa Branscombe. We hope y'all enjoy this. It's one of our favorite. It goes like this right here. Steel rail, chase the sunshine around the bend, winding through the trees like a ribbon in the wind. I don't mind not knowing what lies down the track, 'cause I'm looking out ahead to keep my mind from turning back. It's not the first time I found myself alone at dawn. If I'd already had you once, well, I had you and I'm gone. And the whistle's blowing lonesome in my mind, winding me along that never-ending meadow line. Steel rail, chase the sunshine around the bend, winding through the trees like a ribbon in the wind. I don't mind not knowing what lies down the track, 'cause I'm looking out ahead to keep my mind from turning back. Well, the sun is shining through the open boxcar door, lighting my mind like the things I've known before. But I've lost count of the hour, days, and time. The rhythm of the rail keeps emotion in my mind. Steel rail, chase the sunshine around the bend, winding through the trees like a ribbon in the wind. I don't mind not knowing what lies down the track, 'cause I'm looking out ahead to keep my mind from turning back. Steel rail, chase the sunshine around the bend, winding through the trees like a ribbon in the wind. I don't mind not knowing what lies down the track, 'cause I'm looking out ahead to keep my mind from turning back. Yes, I'm looking out ahead to keep my mind from turning back. Oh, yeah, good job, babe.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Kelli's Acoustic Crossroads. It's time right now for our homegrown clip of the week. These are clips that our viewers send in to us that they've taken maybe with a cell phone or whatever. These are people that want to perform on maybe a smaller stage, and you can send those to us, just a Facebook link to kacrossroads.com, or check us out on Facebook at Kelli's Acoustic Crossroads. Glenn, why don't you introduce this next clip for us?
Well, it's quite an honor for a papa. These are my now 13-year-old twin granddaughters, and they love to sing. They sing all the time, and so we actually had them come out and join the band. Kelli introduced them last year with American Honey, and that was a treat for Papa. So this year they're going to come on stage and do a song for us called "To the Tune of a $20 Bill." This is Anna and Abby Gilbert.
It was the first time whenever he saw her, he saw his future in a long white cotton gown, sitting there in the church house. She was gonna get baptized. They were gonna have a dinner on the ground. Then the very next Friday, he got off at the sawmill. He slicked his hair back. He had a pocket full of pay when she opened up the front door. He was really like a possum. And as he ended her daisy, she heard him say, yeah, let's go dancing to the tune of a $20 bill. We got a fine fiddle band at the barn up on the hill. And about midnight we just now wind up dancing, standing still by my daddy's lantern light like he walking home.
And that was Anna and Abby Gilbert with our homegrown clip of the week. Thank you so much to my guests Glen Williams and the Foggy Hollow Band.
Thank you for having me. It's always an honor, Kelli.
It's always an honor for me too. Y'all make sure you check out what's going on with Glen and the Foggy Hollow Band on his Facebook. Just search Foggy Hollow on Facebook, or you can check out foggyhollow.com. Glen, you got anything you want to add before we head to our next song?
Just thank you so much for having us. You know, you mentioned the earlier in life about the gospel music. We do a lot of gospel, and the band's available for churches, weddings, whatever you need, hog killings, you know, whatever, chicken raisins. But
no power required either.
No power required. But thank you for having us. We love bluegrass music. Hope you'll get out and support it too.
We do too. And right now, here's Glen Williams singing "I'm a Pilgrim."
Well, I am a pilgrim and a stranger. I'm traveling through this wearisome land. I got a home at yonder city, good Lord, and it's not made by hand. Well, I've got a mother, a sister and a brother who have gone on to that bright shore. I'm determined to go and see them, good Lord, over on that other shore. 'Cause I am a